G'day, Ben Little here again from Concord Joe. Happy New Year. It's January 2012 and so we begin part 3 of this series of songs that will be played by Concord Joe. It was pointed out to me, someone wasn't quite sure what Concord Joe was or who it is, so I'd like to explain that these songs that I've written and I'm talking and telling you about are songs that are going to be played and are being played by Concord Joe, which is a 4-piece band which consists of Billy Curvin on bass guitar and vocals, Vince Vitale on drums and vocals, Wendy Lloyd Curley on guitar and vocals, and myself on guitar and vocals. So that also brings me to another point, which is how fun it is to take a song in its complete raw state and then present it to a group of musicians, drummer, bass player, guitarist, and put it together in a way that it's going to sound good to the 4 sets of ears, which is the band. So the song I'm going to tell you about today is a song called On a Roll, and this was one of the first ones written in that whole batch of songs. This musically came from, again, a theme that we talked about before in Promise I Won't Be Sad, the first presentation I made, where sometimes when you play a chord and you play around with notes, you can actually hear a melody. And so when I was playing this, I immediately, because of the way the guitar strings were going, I was hearing da 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 da. So again, the melody was, running exactly along that same line that the guitar strings were doing, or being influenced by, So it's a fairly simple song musically. Has a very few chords in it. The only thing that's a little interesting, I guess, about this song is, for those of you that know your music theory, if we're in the key of G, the relative minor chord in the key of G is E minor. And what I did in the chorus is I replaced that E minor with an E seventh, which is the dominant 7th in the key of A, which placed just before the A minor kind of makes the A minor sound really good. So that's a kind of a twist, which I'll sort of explain to you now. So when you get to the chorus and you're going, I'm on a roll, this coaster is going fast, not slow. So that's kind of an interesting change, because most people will hear or assume it's going to be an E minor. These are sometimes called accidental chords, where it's still an E chord, but it's not the E minor, which it should be in the key of G, according to the rules of the scale. So there we go. I don't want to get any more technical than that, or I'll lose you all. So, and then lyrically, I guess this was, was feeling very good about myself, actually. Feels like no struggle. And that's kind of exactly what I felt. The songs were coming out, life was kind of good. I was thinking about my 20s, where things were a struggle on so many levels. So things kind of get better when you get older, and so it feels like no struggle. It's hard to get over, as in it's a nice feeling, really, to feel like you're not struggling. Anyway, and then I love the concept of on a roll, which has that dual meaning of, like, if you're gambling and you're playing craps or something, roll of the dice, on a roll, or if you're on a roller coaster. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And just kind of going over what I said earlier, it is very interesting when you get a band, when you present a song in its raw state to a band, and you sit down and you try and work out what's going to sound best once you add bass and drums. So for example, when I first presented the song, and it's going to be how I play it to you guys as well. Feels like no struggle, it's hard to get over. Do we deserve it too? Well, that ended up being a 3-part harmony a cappella at the beginning, with no guitars, no drums, no bass, no nothing. So that we thought that was a really interesting way to start the song. And I didn't, of course, envisage that when I wrote the song. And this is actually what's happening with the latest songs, is now that the band's getting a bit of a sound and we know what the band kind of sounds like, the songs are being tailored a little closer to how we sound. Whereas this first batch of songs, there was no band in mind, they were just songs. So that made it fun to try and put it together. So I guess what I'll do is, that's pretty much it really, just nothing else. We basically followed the song and the chords as they were. Again, once you hear the album, when it comes out, you'll be able to hear, it'll be interesting for you to hear the song in its raw state and then to hear what we've done with it. So yeah, this has been a little closing off for this section, and Concord Joe, and we all wish you a happy new year, and hope to see you in 2012 sometime, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.